You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, let's do it. Let's talk about it. Little reaction. We put the news breaking over on Black and White Sports, John and myself. And now here we are. We're going to look at the reaction, dig a little deeper. Steve Bisciotti, the owner of the Ravens, actually reacted. They got him reacting to this. And it's kind of funny because he makes it clear, sounds to me like Baltimore may not be an option here for Tomlin, and it's because of him having been the Steelers coach, I would guess. Although he does leave one way it could happen. He does. And we'll sort of talk about where we think this is actually going to go, if anywhere. It may go straight to the television booth. After 19 seasons, of course, Mike Tomlin just informed his team he was stepping down. That was Adam Schefter. 193 and 114. 2 ties. And, of course, he won a Super Bowl, right? He went to 2. So, you now got a coach that technically is on the market. Now, it should be noted, the Steelers retain his rights. So if another team wants him, they will have to trade for him. By the way, people are saying, well, he'll just set out and blah. Well, it doesn't matter. If he sets out, they still have to trade for him if they want him. A la Sean Payton set out for a year, and the Broncos still had to trade to get him. Okay? So that's almost a moot point here. Now, I brought this up earlier. Brian Daboll, when he was fired by the Giants, I got to tell you, there was a lot of New York Giants smoke and Mike Tomlin just till about 2 weeks ago. In fact, until John Harbaugh became available, there was a ton of Mike Tomlin smoke. All right, I know Chris Sims went publicly. I've heard him say it on his podcast. His dream contender, his number one coaching hire would be Mike Tomlin to the New York Giants. And, of course, he loves that franchise because his daddy played. Phil Simms played for the Giants. So I expect him to probably go to television. There's word has it, multiple offers out there from television. I would think Amazon Prime would be one of them. McNeil. This could be the funniest thing ever. This could be the funniest thing ever. I mean, there's a world where somehow this could happen. Let me just put it out there. I think there's a really good shot Stefanski is potentially the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think it's very possible now. Harbaugh, no. I think Harbaugh goes to either the Giants with the Falcons and the Browns being the other 2 contenders there. I think Tomlin goes to TV. Stefanski is going to have his pick of wherever Harbaugh doesn't go, but now the Steelers is open. So I think there's a real shot there. This guy says, I think Tomlin is done coaching. Maybe, but only for a year or 2 tops. In fact, I made a prediction with somebody earlier that he once coached here as an assistant. And I'm talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They chose to keep Todd Bowles. Well, if it doesn't go good for Todd Bowles next year, if it doesn't go well, Mike Tomlin and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will make all the sense in the world at that point. Okay, so I'm just putting that out there. Give me Tomlin over Harbaugh. The Bengals should have done this with Zach Taylor. Imagine, Zach Taylor is now the longest tenured coach in the NFC North. Wow, life comes at you fast. Seriously, that's unbelievable. The worst coach in the North keeps his job. Yeah, I mean, who would have thought? I mean, Zach Taylor, there was real noise around him getting run off. And he's still there. It's just wild. It's just wild that this is what we looked up and what we've got. What's now there? Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh meeting in Cancun. Yeah. Oh, man. Got a great movie. Really is. Yeah, it's a great movie. God, just stop it there. I don't want to get a copyright strike on the Shawshank. Yeah, these guys don't coach the Ravens and the Steelers anymore. It's wild. Come on now. Easily the craziest coaching cycle ever. Ross Tucker. Steve Bisciotti being asked about it.
Only if John takes the Pittsburgh job. Wow, wouldn't that be interesting? I don't know, that thing last week maybe disqualified him from my opening after our kicker missed a kick to let them advance. Good for Mike. Yeah, I don't know. Talk to him. I love Mike. I mean, I've been.
That's hilarious. The King Kong kiss blow may have knocked him out of it, as far as Bisciotti's concerned, after he defeated the Ravens to make the playoffs. Brian Flores, no doubt about it. I think he's going to be in on this Steelers job. There's a chance. He was an assistant there under Tomlin. The other one, it's got to be Marcus Freeman. He's got to be. I know he just signed a deal with Notre Dame. I don't give a rat's ass. I don't care that he just signed that deal. That's nothing. There's a chance for him now to become the Pittsburgh Steelers head coach. And I still wonder if he's laying in the weeds on the Ravens, frankly. So this, I believe, this was the insiders.
And no doubt, I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers have one of the best organizations in the NFL, one of the most, respected. All of the things Judy said, that is all absolutely true. The quarterback situation certainly looms large, though, right? And like Mike talked about the attractiveness of the Giants with Jackson Dart and the attractiveness of the Titans with Cam Ward. Whoever the next coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers is faces the same challenge that Mike Tomlin and Omar Khan have faced really since Ben Roethlisberger retired, which is they need a quarterback. And because they have been so good, because they have made the playoffs every year and they always have a record that is better than 500, it's been really hard to get a quarterback. In fact, the only quarterback they've drafted in the first round has been Kenny Pickett. Obviously, he is not a starter in this league, but when you're drafting 16 or 20 or wherever he ended up going, it's like that's hard to find a franchise starter. So yes, it is a great job. It is an incredible organization. People who are there will talk, coaches who are there, players will talk about how unbelievably special the Pittsburgh Steelers are. No doubt about it. Until they get a quarterback, until they get that situation fixed, it is going to be a challenge. And obviously, who they hire is going to have a big-time say in where they go from there, but quarterback looms large.
Okay, and I think one thing is clear now. I think Aaron Rodgers is done. Because I think the only way he would have come back would have been in a possible package deal with Mike Tomlin. Kevin Clark tweeted this out. The Giants should let Mike Tomlin fire their GM. And just about a week ago, he said the same thing about John Harbaugh, which is pretty hilarious. So what do I think? I think he ultimately goes to television, for a year or two. I think he's burnt out. That's the sense I get. But don't sleep on the Giants here, I wouldn't sleep on the Giants. Maybe not sleep on the Falcons. NFC South, after being in that tough North division where you're fighting the Ravens every year, you could go to the South. And then still even now, the Matt LaFleur thing and the contract negotiations between that team and that coach, now that looms large. I made a video earlier. I would go watch it. Okay, not to toot my own horn, but I would go watch it because I talked about the fact that, and this is whether no matter where Tomlin goes, it still stands. He has got to evolve and he has got to change his philosophy on how offenses are built in the National Football League in 2026. He's got to get dynamic players. He's got to get playmakers. And he needs to, you know what? He needs to get involved with guys that's got heavy connections to Shanahan's and McVay's, Mike McDaniel. Yeah, I talked about him earlier. Literally, if he was to sneak and not get a head coaching job, that Tomlin should go after him and bring him into the Steelers. Well, if he goes somewhere else, he's going to need an OC. He needs to get out of the Arthur Smiths, Matt Canada's, Greg Roman's now on the market, and I like Greg, but I just don't know that it works anymore. You know, I think you need a dynamic play caller. If he had one, he may still have a job. He might still be there and might have had more playoff success. He's got to douche that mindset when it comes to the offense. Grind it out. Yeah, you look up and you're getting bum rush. If you go back and look at his playoff losses, those games aren't close the last 10 years. They're not close. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.